What's up, everybody? Uh, Rob here again with a little bit of an inspirational moment, mainly due to the fact that I saw on my Facebook today there was a video selfie from when I very first did one long ago, and I kind of was thinking to myself like, man, I really haven't done anything video selfie wise in a while, and to be honest, although I find them to be a little silly, it was not really meant for anything important. I ended up looking back at a lot of them and saying like, wow, like a lot of the things I was doing was fun or cool or um, like it was just something I could look back at and see where I was in my life at that point and what was going on and some of the crazy shit like chugging beer Mondays and shit like that. Um, Really kind of just like opened my eyes to like, man, I wish I would have kept doing those because they were a good time and a great reflection period in my life. So today, I didn't get a lot of sleep, and I was sitting there thinking like, man, I really want to do more of those. But then I started thinking like maybe I could, more for myself, I guess, make a little bit of a series of videos along the way in my journey that hopefully can motivate others, and mainly myself, of course. But I'm not a guy that takes a lot of pictures. Rarely do I ever, I don't know, get involved in being like, uh, I guess the center of attention in a sense that like I need to be in like jump in someone's photo or jump in someone's video or I just be me all the time and I go out and I do shit spontaneously. So to kind of kick this off, I just want to get into a little bit of a motivational phase where I can talk about how recently over the past probably about 6 months I started saving some money, and I'm now hoping that I can buy a house here in the near future. Um, Most people know that that are around me. I'm pretty good at talking for the most part, so people hear a lot of shit I say. But the cool part is that when I started that journey, it took me getting a check from a car accident. My car was pretty beat up, and I was not happy about it, but my car was already in rough shape, so when I got my check for my car, it just sparked something in my head. Like, man, like I could save a couple $100. And the important part was that I started with a goal. In my head, I said, I'm gonna put X money away for X amount of years, and I'm gonna do X things to get my credit in the right places. Some things fell into place a little earlier than I expected, but the most important part I would say is that it's kind of true. Like if you put your mind to a feasible goal, it's very achievable in the long run. Um, it's not easy to achieve, and it takes time. Very frustrating. But I think some of the most important aspects of striving for goals and striving for um, just personal happiness, maybe, is the hardships along the way are what actually dictate how maybe truly happy, how um, financially stable. I mean, you really just got to go and get it. I've been working pretty hard recently. There were good days, there were bad days at work, but the most important part is just perseverance, just non-stop telling myself like, it, keep going, it's worth it, it's worth it. And now I'm in a position where I can start considering buying a house in my life, and that's a position that I don't think I would ever have assumed I'd be in. Not that that's something that I think is a large goal, like for a lot of people. Some people are content with renting. Some people, buying a house is not difficult for them. Maybe that's just something they were like born into, and they just kind of like understood it growing up with their family. But for me, that was something that is like it's a cornerstone to my life. So uh, in the process now, so nothing's happened yet. So no goal has been truly achieved quite yet. But it's just a message to say, looking back at where I started, I had nothing, and I kind of regret starting with nothing. When I say starting with nothing, I mean like I had opportunities in my life to save money and do all the right things, like many other people. But I think the general consensus in the human nature is that you have to make a mistake at some point in your life to really like prosper from that mistake or that hardship, and then later on see and say, wow, that really worked out or didn't work out, but what am I going to do to change it in the future? So that's kind of like how I like to carry myself, and I think that's something a lot of people should think about, is whether it goes good or bad, never get too high or too low about it. Never get too happy or too sad, because life is going to throw so many challenges your way that ultimately you will persevere through these challenges. You just really got to put your mind to it, and understand that things aren't always going to go great, and things won't always be terrible. So far in my life, I've found that just consistency, attempting consistency every day, understanding that trying to make everything perfect and trying to do everything the right way, or by the book, or religion, or you just got to be you. At the end of the day, you got to be you. And I feel like for some people, maybe their goals are different in their lives, like such as some people are striving for a relationship, some people are striving for to travel, and I think that it's all so feasible in the long run. It just really depends on how you approach your goals as well. For me, I know that like I hear a lot of people saying, "Oh man, I want to." Maybe they just got a relationship. Oh man, I wish things would have worked out, or they're upset, or. But the most important part is to take a step back in your life and not necessarily blame yourself for things that are happening, but ultimately figure out like how you got where you're at and what changes may need to be made for you to get back to where maybe you want to be. Most importantly, you never want to repeat a process that such as like, oh, I would like to be in a relationship again one day, even though I'm just out of one. The ultimate thing is you never want to repeat the same relationship twice. And by saying that, I mean, sure, you can get back with an ex or whatever, but for some people, that relationship goal, what they think they want, they rush into other things. I'm sure we've all been down that road for the most part. I think it's a general understanding that once you feel heartbreak or whatever, you need the mending process to begin as soon as possible, and a lot of times it's human nature to want that mending process to be with other humans. Well, I'm sure there's no other way. No, I would hope no one else is using ulterior motives through that means. But anyway, so I think that most importantly is just looking at yourself in the mirror and saying, hey, I need to get back to feeling good about myself. Looking in the mirror, being happy with who you are as a person. I think humans just have such a large mental aptitude for just like absorbing so much feelings and emotions and just all at one time, that tend not to just take a deep breath and like go, you know what, man, things aren't that bad. Like, they're not that bad. And the way you're going to correct yourself or correct a situation is to work hard for it, just day by day, one day at a time for sure. And small goals, small improvements along the way help out a lot. For some people, I know like going to the gym is a goal. For me, it was a goal. I'm certainly not one to per se speak and say like, well, here's how you go to the gym every day. Because for me, I've been like many. I go to the gym and then I've kind of fall off. I think with the gym though, The gym normally correlates to me with maybe how someone's feeling in their life at the time. Whether you feel like this sudden urge to want to lose weight, whether you feel this sudden urge to want to get bulk, you see something normally, or something happens within your life that usually translates to going to the gym and spending the money and saying like, oh man, this is going to be the year I'm going to go. I think more importantly than, let's just say, spontaneously buying gym memberships, is to start with a disciplined regimen of like eating habits, walking around your block, stuff like that. Like start small. If you want to get in shape, or if you want to try to live a more healthy lifestyle. I would say, like for me, a good example would be like, I work at the bar obviously, but drinking less. It's a small goal. I mean, not that you shouldn't, but I feel like it's hard to just come out and say, hey, you know what? There's something I like to do, but I should never do it again, right? Like, should I drink all the time? No. Should I never drink again? I don't know if that's a quality answer for me as an individual, just knowing how I am. I think consistency is another. Bring that back again, like being consistent about it. Like, hey, maybe I cut back drinking, but maybe I try to make sure I only do it on certain days, certain nights. Being that I'm a spontaneous person, though, that doesn't really work out. So maybe I look at it and say, hey, like maybe I want to drink on Saturday. Cool. Go out, have some beers, have a good time. But then let's just say I'm off on Tuesday and Wednesday, right? That's my normal off days. So maybe I say, hey, Tuesdays and Wednesdays, I already drank Saturday. I know I'm off, but I'm going to take a chill, and I'm just going to relax and find an ulterior means of getting shit done, like cleaning up the room or go for a walk, or So although we're getting a little derailed, or at least I am, obviously. The point I'm trying to make here is that everybody's got a lot of different goals. Everybody's got a lot of things going on in their lives. Sometimes it's nice to take a step back, talk to yourself a little bit about things, see how things are going in your head, a little bit of, get things right for yourself, For me, these little videos or whatever, I pop them on YouTube, they disappear, and I look back in 7 years or some shit, and I'll look at this and be like, damn, that was a nice beard. But then I'll probably also look at it and be like, oh shit, that's where I was in my life. That's good to see personal either growth or decline, because you have to always know, like, if your quality of life is declining, you were at this point here at one point in your life, but now you're down here. So it's feasible, very feasible, that you can always get back to where you were. Now, what circumstances were happening within your life at that time obviously make a bit of an impact. But I think that the most important part is to always remember that you can always find your consistency again. And so that's kind of the broad message of this video today, is just consistency in your life is going to be what's key in your friendships and your daily activities and your routines. Just try to keep yourself consistent, not too high, not too low. Make sure you're making small goals as well as large goals. Maybe I want to save $400 a week. Maybe I'm capable of saving $1,500 a week. Who knows what everyone's capable of doing? That's for you to decide. But at the end of the day, you don't want to always have to achieve the largest goals in your life, because you need to see progress and success in order to build your foundation. But I guess that's it for this one. Just kind of, it's been a while since I've done any type of video selfie, video anything. I kind of miss it a little bit. I miss, even if no one cares or whatever, it's like, it's kind of nice to have my own little piece of motivation, and like I said, to look at these things and say, like, damn man, that's where I was in my life. Like, that's where I was sitting that day. That's what I was doing that day. That's, my hair was longer or shorter. You know, sometimes you just need to take a step back and take a look at everything and just appreciate and enjoy it, you know. Uh, and that's what I wanted to do today, so I appreciate for anyone it may help, you know, or not, or if anyone listened or cared or felt like it was worthwhile. To me, you know, it's just for me to have fun with and enjoy, you know, for the future. So if people feel like there's any topics that maybe they would want me to discuss or talk about, I'd be more than happy. Other than that, have a nice day and go Caps.